Hello there, and welcome to We Hate Skill Windows, a podcast about hating skill windows and more importantly about rating webtoons. This week you'll notice that I am not using the rabbit, but trust me, I'm still Rye
I'm Chris.
and he's still Chris. This week we are rating Sleeping Ranker, which is apparently quite possibly going to be one of our better episodes based on how much we both dislike it. But as usual, here is a short synopsis. So, Sleeping Ranker is a story about this guy who plays VR game, but he doesn't play the VR game to play the game. Instead, he logs into the game and goes to fucking sleep. Because apparently he's overworked so badly at work, um, he relies on the game to allow him to sleep better and wake up feeling rested in game, which game time speed up faster than real life time. I don't know how that works. I'm not gonna question how that works. I don't even want to question how he's actually attaining meaningful sleep from his video game sleep. But regardless, the guy sleeps so much in the game that he actually gains the ability to unlock a hidden legendary god level class, which is apparently to be the descendant of Thanatos, I believe, the god of sleep.
They spell it
And
Thanatos.
Thanatos? Wait,
It doesn't
is
have
it
a
not
second T.
Thanatos?
I don't know. Sarah spells it without the second T, so it's Thanatos.
Oh, never mind. Thanatos, I guess. Wait, Thanatos is the Greek god,
Yeah,
the
that's the Greek god
personification
of
of
death.
death and sleep. Or wait, yeah, god of death and brother Hypnos, the god of sleep. Wait, hold on. I thought he was the god of sleep. Okay, well, we got Thanos, which is a lot worse, I guess. It's like Thanos, but like with a T. Oh shit. Um, well, we got bootleg Thanatos, but Thanos here gives the main character of a group of quests that allow him to get really, really strong really fast. And emboldened by the fact that he's now attained this legendary class, the main character proceeds to quit his job at work in IRL world and decide to dedicate his entire livelihood to playing the video game. He also has like a really depressing backstory where his I think his parents died and then like his
Yeah.
sister is like left crippled from the car crash and he's
Trauma.
gotta like
Yeah.
take care of him and he's the sole breadwinner, but secretly things are not what they seem to be. All right, let's get into the complaining, shall we?
Oh,
Where do we want to start? Uh,
entire thing's a mess. Everything.
let's just go from chronological then. Okay, let's now before I get into my I hate the AI game concept thing. Before
Mhm.
we get there, let's talk about the fact that the guy is a noob at video games, right? Or at least he's a noob at this game. I'm not sure about video games in general, but everything displayed in the context makes it feel like the guy does not play video games. He uses video games to sleep.
Apparently, when he was young, he was scouted as a pro gamer.
Okay, well, the issue with these is like, how long has the capsule been around for? How long has the VR concept been around for in this world? Is the VR game concept new, like it is in Sword Art, or is it like commonplace? Like, have
Mm.
VR games been around for the last 30 years? If so, then maybe. But if VR has really just come out or something, or this is like a new game, I refuse to believe that you could be really good at a new game in like one day. Basically, I'm
Mm.
contesting the fact that the guy logged on, had a new class, was like, "Oh, cool, new class, new skills. Time to use a sword as fluently as if I like had trained my whole life to use a sword, and time to use like multiple weapons the same way. Oh, a dagger, cool. I know how to use a dagger. It's totally like me using a sword but shorter range. That's not how that works. And he's also like really acrobatic for no fucking reason. I don't understand that. I do not want to try to understand how this guy attained his skills, but it doesn't make sense. Especially since he then comments on other players' control in the game. And he's like, their control's not so good. I wonder, like, if only they would stop stuttering, then they'd probably achieve better movement. It's like, okay, but like, how did you get your perfect control?
Apparently, he's a master of kendo.
A master of kendo does not mean you're a master of like cross country and like triathlons. If a kendo master went to run a marathon, I swear to fuck they would not win. This guy though could probably win.
He's definitely a Mary Sue.
He's I
Just
just
good at everything.
I let me just complain about the AI bit briefly. I wrote some of this down beforehand. Let me go back to it. Um yeah, so this is one where the video game he plays is a VR headset, sleep in a capsule, connected brain machine game. This also means that all apparently real life experiences and movement are translated into a video game, which still doesn't explain anything, by the way. But the company that runs this game apparently just uses some central AI Google Bard thing to run the entire game. That said, I don't know if they even have a programmers department or like game programmers in general. I don't know who the fuck is maintaining the game besides the AI apparently. And from general context, it seems like there's only a handful of designers and none of them can actually stop the AI. So why the fuck are they there? And also, why is there a game department dedicated to monitoring when the AI does something stupid? So they can report it to the higher ups who can just not do anything about it, except show panels of them being sad or distressed. I It just feels so useless that there's a whole company centered around this. Please hire me. I am in desperate need of work. If you have a job where I can go look at a game for like 24 hours, well, hopefully not 24 hours at a time, but like if my job description was I log into a VR game and I just watch the game and see if there's any point where the game breaks and then report it, it's not even like I'm doing like QA testing, I'm just like observing the game to see if it will break. And then when it does, I call my manager over and both of us cry. Like, why is that the job? Why every panel of this, by the way, there's like at least like 16 people sitting in a room monitoring this shit. Korea must be having a real fun time in jobs. What was my other point? Oh yeah. When he falls asleep, the AI takes control. That's like the main thing for his like sleeping somnambulism, whatever the fuck it's called,
Yeah.
ability. Apparently, when he falls asleep, the AI takes control to play. I refuse to believe that AI would then choose a more refined moveset than what he already possesses. It is using his player data. Why the fuck does it take on its own personality? It should not. It should use the data that the supposedly that the player has displayed and use that to create a playstyle. In fact, it would probably be less refined because that's just how that works. Like, you know, AI in video games, in a lot of video games, they work, they do good. You can almost pretend like they're low level players, but you can tell that they're fundamentally different. They don't respond to a lot of cues and stuff. Most of all, they don't have personality in the way that this AI does. They could have that programmed into them probably, but I heavily doubt this skill was like, well, I heavily doubt any of the company or the game itself was fleshed out by the author at all. But you know, assuming it was, you know, I don't think the AI could program. This is just me looking down on AI probably, but maybe AI has developed to the point that it could do something like this, but I don't believe it would have its own playstyle to the point where they're like, oh my god, it's your knight persona. No, it's fucking not. It's not the knight. It would just be a replica of your hunter persona because that's what you use. We've never seen the main characters consciously use the knight persona. It's just bullshit. I have a few other complaints, but feel free to jump in with some of yours in this chronological take, Chris.
Mm. Mm.
So, like, the
Uh,
period we're talking about right now is, for me at least, is, main character quits job, which is fair. Don't overwork yourself to death. The life is too short for that shit. But, main character quits job, plays video game, goes to, like, the first dungeon, and, like, clears it really stupidly fast. Oh, you want to talk about the DP shop? Which sounds like a shop used for really bad things, but it's like the Death Point shop or something.
yeah, something like that.
uh, I, I'm corrupted. I hear or read DP and I'm like, aha, funny. But apparently he earns DP points, which are allowed for him to use the DP shop. DP shop features a gacha-like selection of skills. That's right, the main system creates a gacha for the main character to gain his skills. Every skill he gained is pure fucking RNG. Except he gains one like normal rank skill and one master rank skill and one heroic level skill and one legendary skill. It If a game did that, imagine. Then we would really see a market of like, hey, I got a character who rolled like 4 really good skills. Can I like buy that character? Or can I sell it on the marketplace? Can we like Web3 that game shit? There's no way that wouldn't be a Web3
Mm,
game.
you're right.
Absolutely no way. That'd be tokenized all the fucking way. Um, but yeah, because I think in the main dungeon, first dungeon, the one where he's like playing with the alt girl and her sister, you had some complaints to say, yeah?
Oh, that one was just kind of. I kind of hate the trope where like they kind of look down on the main character, and the main character like proves his worth and totally like beats them over, and then like the next like four dialogues for them is always like, oh, I shouldn't have looked down on them, or like, oh, you need to slow down. We're too bad at this.
Yeah, all
Like,
of a sudden, oh my god, he's performing better than I thought? Fuck. Why is that? No, come on. Now you gotta wait for us to catch up, Hunter Nim or whatever the fuck. It's like, no, come on. You didn't expect anything from this guy. Yeah. Also, he was apparently working on autopilot, so he wasn't gonna slow down anyway. But even when he was
yeah,
conscious, his brain like didn't even consider what. I, I,
yeah. I don't know, his personality was very
does he have a
inorganic
personality?
at that. He doesn't,
He
honestly.
really
Just
doesn't.
whatever
His
fits the whim
personality
of the
is,
author
oh, my
wants.
dear sister, I must work to help you. And the sister's like, bro, I can stand, I can walk actually. And he's like, what the fuck? Sit your ass back down and let me take care of
You're
you. That's my
totally.
entire personality. That's what's my life goal. What the fuck? Don't take that away from me. Uh, there's a point where the sister who's been in a wheelchair for like a good amount of her life now sits up or stands up and is like showing her brother that she can walk, and the brother's like, sit the fuck back down, get back in your wheelchair, don't you fucking stand.
He was so mad at her for no reason. It was so random. I was just like,
He
she can
was like
stand. This is a
mad
happy
at
moment.
her for using her own money to pay for her hospital bills when he didn't even
Right.
make enough money to pay for the hospital bills. I Korea's really a weird place, huh? Their culture's real bizarre. But
Uh,
yeah, first dungeon goes in with girl and sister of girl. They're using like alt accounts, which is cool and all. You know, everyone has them, mule accounts or even just I mean, it's not really a Smurf account because she's not planning on doing anything with it besides leveling her sister, I think.
mm,
But given the thought process of it, I don't actually know why she bothered using a different account. Since the main character waltzed in with like a really low account. Well, I guess if the main character wasn't there, then maybe it would be a little weird. Since you have to enter with 3, probably be a little weird to have like a high level player. But I don't really know why she used a different account in the first place. I just really didn't like the lines in that dungeon where the main character was like, her control over her character is not very good. I don't understand why she's like stuttering when she uses her ability. Like, dude, you're just apparently like a god in the game. We don't know why. And also your stats are like insanely fucking high. You're like one-shotting things. And you're like, oh, if she used her sword in a more organic way here, she could get a better damage. It's like you don't need to worry about this. You're like you have like a diamond spoon in your fucking mouth right now. Don't fucking talk about it. But he comments on it as if he knows anything about the game. Let's point out though that he still. Well, I mean, yeah, there is that one comment that his friend makes. It's like, oh yeah, you were scouted to be a pro player. But honestly, not gonna lie, when I hear pro player, it's like you could be scouted for a pro player in so many different, aspects.
Caves, yeah.
He could have been a mad TFT player. He could have been pro there. He could have been a TFT, CSGO, Overwatch, a pro, I don't know, Flappy Bird player? Like, you know, there's a lot of genre of game that you can be pro in. If you're a pro CSGO player, it does not mean you are good at League of Legends. And if you're a high performer in like World of Warcraft, leading like a big raid team or something, that does not mean you'll be good at CS:GO, you know?
Mm,
But apparently pro player in this context meant he's a master of all games. So, yeah, you said Mary Sue, yep, yeah. It also apparently these capsules are really noise proof. I can only assume. Because his sister is apparently like a high ranking official of this huge, or of this very influential guild that's only comprised of 7 users that only recruits from like the best of the best. And apparently he didn't know. But then
yeah.
his sister is also really fucking dense and didn't put together the fact that the character in game that looks very much like her brother IRL is in fact her brother IRL.
Oh, he's wearing a
Oh,
mask.
but he's wearing a mask.
Oh,
Oh, what's this mask meta? Oh, yeah, I fucking hate the mask meta. I don't know. How do you feel about the mask meta in these webtoons? Because it shows up a lot.
yeah. It's kind of whatever, honestly. It's such a just pointless side story that I don't know.
I hate that every time, almost every time. It's like this like really ugly mask as well. Like,
Yeah.
why couldn't they wear something cooler? At least this guy's got like a Persona looking mask on. Like something you could
Yeah.
see in Persona. In fact, I'm pretty sure one Persona 5 character has that mask. I just don't remember her name. But a lot of the other characters use this like let me look it up. You probably know what I'm talking about, Chris. It's like the
The one that
Korean
only fits
wooden
over the
mask.
eye. Oh, that thing? Oh,
Yeah. Hold on. What is this called?
yeah.
Oh God. Hahoitol? Ha ha haho hahoitol? I don't know. I can't pronounce that. It's the like traditional Korean mask where it's got like a grinning face and grinning eyes and like rosy cheeks, and it's usually a wooden mask. I've seen at least like 4 or 5 different Korean webtoons with a Power Fantasy MC use that mask. And I don't know what it is about people doing that because if that is the thing, and these are masks that are used to perform in traditional like dances and dance dramas. That's like if someone used like one of those masks used in like Chinese dramas, like the uh
Well, like the Sun Wukong ones.
no, I'm thinking of the ones the like dramas in like opera, Chinese opera, ancient
Hmm.
uh the term for anyone listening who knows Mandarin would be like Bianlian, which just sort of means like changing of face. It's like the ones that they use to like switch their faces a lot. Uh it's like that. The only one the only thing that's featured that is the wait, what's it called? What's that one called again where it's the doctor, the martial art doctor guy? What's that one
Doctor's
called?
Rebirth? About Doctor's Rebirth?
Doctor's Rebirth. Yeah. Doctor's Rebirth. Yeah. It's got the like little kid who does that shit. That he
Uh,
meets recently. I know you're not a
what's
huge
this?
fan of that one, but that is the only one I've seen that does that. But I don't know. Korea just really likes their traditional masks, I guess. Either that or I I don't know. Anyhow, yeah, let's hear your complaints because I feel like you had a lot.
My biggest complaint was just how horrendous the writing was. I felt like every time I was reading the story, half of it was just side character comment remarks about the main character's strength and how amazing and high potential he was. And it just filled up so much of the panel, and every time you read one, you're like, oh, there's another comment.
There were a lot of panels that felt sort of unnecessary, where like
Yeah,
apparently some like another big guild conglomerate like group of guilds were like, oh my god, I love that Asura guy. Also, how funny is it that Asura picked up a series where the main character goes by Asura?
honestly, that was like the best part about it, honestly. When I learned his nickname was Sarah, I was like, okay, well,
I
at
was
least
like,
now
of
there's a
fucking
reason I'm reading it.
course. Like,
Yeah.
if Leviathan translates it, it's not the same. Leviathan being another scan site. But and that also translates Power Fantasies for the record. Um, but yeah, I don't,
It was just
it,
awful reading through it.
I
And the wording was horrible too.
got examples you want to read out loud?
Oh my God, they're okay. I sent you like that long list where I was reading through it and I felt like my mind was dying. It was
Here, let me
like,
read some of that out loud and you can let me know how you feel. Let me scroll up here because you sent me a lot. Um, okay, well, the first one says, I think he's angry because we're slow. Compared to that, Yoon is considered kind. I guess I do get
oh,
angry at uni when we slow down, dot dot dot. I need to apologize to her later, dot dot dot.
oh no, not that
Not
part.
that one?
It's a little bit far down. It's
A bit
like
farther
so
down.
there's this
Is this the point where you said in DMs, so you ask the author, what's the point of side characters? The author, colon, that one?
No, it's even farther down that. That was like,
Farther down than that, or what do you mean?
yeah, farther
Oh,
down.
okay.
It's the part where I was just like,
uh,
he repeats each of his thought bubbles.
oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, it was
Um,
like, she's saying that she was following me from the start. To say that she would outrightly say she was following me. On
have you
top of that,
ever
her quest is different from mine. It's not to find the trace, but a quest to stop the resurrection?
have you ever thought in a game where you see someone else and you're like, I wonder if this player has the same quest as me. I wonder if the quest they have is the same as the one that I got last time.
Uh,
And then you enter the dungeon. Oh, it looks like he in fact had the same quest that I had to kill the boss of the same quest dungeon that we received together. uh,
oh my
you know,
god.
maybe they just really wanted to make sure you understood that, you know, who the fuck is this random woman who looks completely out of place in in terms of appearance to everyone else in the game, who also seems to have the same exact skill as that main character. She must be a random fucker. Let's explain why she's here very concisely, so you know that she's important, even though she literally looks like a main character.
Yeah. Is I the writing for I couldn't tell if it was just the way the webtoon studio like drew the thought bubbles and worded it, or if the actual web novel just like repeated every sentence twice, just like in a different way.
One of these days, we should actually go back and revisit one of these and just read the novel and see how much better or worse it is. I can assure
I would
you it
hope
probably won't be that much better.
the story was not that great, so based on the story, it's probably not going to be that much better.
Also,
But
I
at least the writing will probably be better.
the writing is pretty bad. Let me just point out another thing that I really uh if this game is so profitable, how how does the how does the game make money?
That's a good question.
How does the company of this game make money? If you can apparently go into the game, hunt a few dungeons, and sell all that shit and get like, what is that, like 3 million won? How much is that actually? 'Cause apparently you got like 3 million won from 3 million won to USD is 2,000 bucks. Wait, that's still good money. He's making like 2K a day.
Yeah, I'm Scott.
And he gets more the better he gets. How
Yeah,
is he
I hope
doing that? If everyone in the game is getting this amount, or even less, perhaps 1 million won. What is 1 million won? Say they're not that good. That's 785 USD. They're still making 785 USD per day.
dang, that's
I
a
get
lot.
that in like a 2 week paycheck. But you know, I'm not making good money either. But you know, like, I don't know. If people are making this amount of money just doing like dailies and maybe a dungeon, which I doubt anyone, you know, unfamiliar with games could not do, then everyone is raking in good money from this. And I don't know how the tax rates are in Korea, but if you just play the video game for, you know, 24 hours at a time, you can come out of it with like a whole week or two of, you know, money. Hard fucking money. I I just if that's the economy exchange rate, then how is the game alive? Who right? Because there's no microtransactions in the game as far as we can tell. Everything is controlled by the AI. And apparently even the DP shop is just, you know, stuff that you
Want the
get
AI powers.
through in-game currency. Sure, there might be like a microtransaction shop. We don't see them ever interact with it. He doesn't need to. But even if it does exist, it's an MMO. So, you know, at most, you know, you're getting like maybe like a mount or customization. I I I just don't understand. Like, yeah, I guess it costs a lot to have the like capsule console installed, but like how's this game running? Well, we already established that this author just doesn't know any fucking thing about video games. Or, well, might be a player, might not be a designer, I suppose, or knows the inner working of games. Not gonna lie, before I ended up making games or like learning how to make games, I also didn't know how games were made. You think like you approach like an average video game enjoyer who's like never actually made a game, and you try to explain like, or try to have them explain how someone made like a level of Valorant or something. Do you think they could explain it?
Maybe if they were an art adjacent industry, probably not.
Well, like, even without like game terminology, could they accurately point out like, oh well, they've got colliders on these walls or like something to stop us from going through, and like over here there's like this thing that triggers on this. I don't know. I actually don't know how you would describe that if you've never like looked into game dev.
Yeah, also.
Because before I knew anything, when I played League, I just thought, oh, this just like I honestly thought it was like a one layer flat screen thing. Like everything was on one layer. They just like built a 3D environment and like mapped it out so you just couldn't hit the trees and you could go into the bushes. I didn't know shit. Like box colliders were new to me. I didn't know anything. I just never questioned how the game ran. I just existed purely as a player. But now I'm like, oh, well, hitboxes, that makes sense now. When people talk about how Ash's Arrow has a fat fucking hitbox, now I understand what that actually means. Um, you know. But yeah. Any other complaints? Besides game
Mm,
writing bad?
we can continue more once we start rating.
Oh
Let's
yes. But
let's
of
begin rating.
course, I understand. Let me briefly look through my shit. See if oh yeah. He found like a quest dungeon after killing the orc camp
Mm.
in the beginning. A quest dungeon for a secret quest dungeon that would only drop at some point. And because he cleared it, like it was like, oh, this dungeon hasn't been cleared in some time. The difficulty will get harder or something. Or was
Oh,
that the
that's
one
what he
that he
liked
ran
him.
with the girl?
Yeah,
That's the one he ran with the girl and the sister. Okay, cool.
yeah.
Yeah, anyhow, he encountered a dungeon. Dungeon has not been beat or cleared in some time. The difficulty will now increase and the rewards will be higher. That sounds like a cool thing in concept. But like, if this was actually in a game, you best believe there'd be a guild or something that would just monopolize that one dungeon and try to like restrict access. Especially since the game seems to have like capabilities for PvP.
PvP.
So
Yeah.
yeah, just guard the fuck out of the dungeon. Make sure no one can pass. If it's got good drops and the drops get better, if it hasn't been cleared in some time, then artificially make that happen. You don't have to grind the dungeon. You just have to sit next to it and make sure no one gets out. Build it like a little structure. Build a fucking jail for the dungeon, a fortress around it. And then just monopolize it. Only guild members can enter, and only once a month. Have it reset, get to its full potential before you fight it. And then, if everyone did that, then game wouldn't be as fun anymore. But apparently no one in this
Yeah.
world has thought about doing that. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're literally losing valuable gold for doing this. Valuable IRL money. And a complaint about apparently chapter 33. Oh yeah, chapter 33. You kill like a dragon, I think.
Oh, the wyvern.
I believe so. It's the one
Oh
that
my god.
he had to do for like not taking the written exam or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, which is very stupid anyway. But yeah, he fights like this dragon that was not meant to be fought or something. Not meant to be killed, rather. According to the game monitor team, it was not meant to be killed until much, much later. And for some reason, the AI that controls this, can it not be manipulated by people? Can the people not go in and have admin control over the AI? What the fuck? Like, I swear, most of these plots is the game monitoring group staring at the AI, being like, oh my god, what do we do? It's rampaging out of control. And then the central, like, HR guy is like, don't worry, let him cook or something. It's so fucking stupid. Um, if it was up to me, and I was watching this rogue AI destroy, like, you know, years of content planning, I would just go in there, drop the servers momentarily, be like, hey, we're, shutting down the servers for maintenance access. It'll be back up in, 2 hours or something. Go in, remove the drops, make sure that the dragon cannot be killed. Like, literally have it have, like, invincible status, so it literally cannot die. And then, or maybe just remove the fucking dragon. Or maybe the dragon can be killed, it just doesn't have drops anymore. You can literally fix this, dude. Instead, the game monitoring team sits there with their fucking, like, hands in the air, juice dripping from their mouths, apparently, and they just watch and cry because that's all they do, apparently. That was a complaint for chapter 33. Chapter 53. There's a pro player that appears named Ark. Is this a throwback? Are they conspiring? Are they introducing characters from other webtoons? Oh my god. It's the WCU,
Oh,
the webtoon cinematic universe.
yeah,
We
I
remember
think
Ark,
there
don't we,
are.
Chris?
Is that from the Challenger?
Yeah, it is. Except Ark there
Oh,
has like, well, he was also a mage in a way. Honestly,
yeah.
when I first saw it, I was like, aside from the fact that, like, the Challenger is just like League but in VR. Honestly, it could be him. You don't see that many people named Ark in general.
I could see it,
Um,
yeah.
yeah. That's most of my complaints. Rate it.
Yeah.
All right. On to ratings. Got the art rating going first. Art, I mean, what do you think?
Oh, at first I thought it was pretty standard until I saw the baby pet. Now it's a 7. Maybe a
You're
6.
locking in a
I'll give it a 7.
7. All right. A 7
Oh,
because the pet was not cute.
plenty
I
AF.
concur. Let's give it a 7. Story.
Oh my god, what story?
So
Oh, oh my, it got.
I hope that was
I
caught.
was
I feel like I've never heard
so.
you be so dismissive. Well, the last one we rated was pretty bad, but
The last one was bad. This one was somehow like a billion times worse, and it was
I
all
better
because
rate
the
it
writing
worse
was
then.
so crap. It's like a 1. This is a 1. Oh
You
my
want me to
god.
lock that in? A 1?
Yeah, yeah, it's freaking
Oh
a
my
1. I've
god.
never been so freaking
That's
mad
insane.
reading a freaking webtoon in my
Wow.
life. Except for maybe the Lone Spellcaster. This is approaching.
Unpopular opinion, perhaps. I think the Lone Spellcaster is better world building than this one.
Probably.
So let's think back the story so far. The sleeping ranker, he goes into dungeons and he goes to sleep. And then if anyone tries to attack him, he PKs them and gains their shit for free. That's
Yeah.
like the main premise that we see him do abuse later on. Currently, though, he's just sort of grinding through the dungeons with absolutely no risk to himself.
Yeah. Every monster he fights, he beats up, gets a bunch of stuff, gets a bunch of titles. He's like, oh my god, look at all this stuff. And then you see a
Yeah,
panel of him picking up
actually,
all the
yeah.
items.
I'll be generous. You know, someone's gotta be nice here. I'll give it a 2.
Mm.
Really being nice to it. You know, time to complain again. Why, why is the game giving him titles for doing things that apparently have never been done before? Like beating the tutorial in one hit. You're telling me no one's done that before?
Oh, I'm
Not a
surprised.
shot. No one's done that before. You're not the only character. In the first place, it didn't seem like he needed to play the tutorial, right? Like it didn't seem like the tutorial was mandatory upon the start of the game, because he did it after like playing the game for a year but just sleeping in it,
Yeah, because.
and he got to town just fine, which means his character was able to get to a beginner town or a starting random town or something, and get access to an inn, which means he must have had some amount of currency. Unless they allow you to stay free somewhere, which holy shit, that's a generous game. Uh, Usually you pay like 500 gold or something and go have a night in the inn and then you sleep. This guy has the money or ability. Maybe he bought his way in, but that's consuming. Um, and he can afford to do that for a year. So if the tutorial is not mandatory, that means any player can theoretically go in to the game, grind up to level 50, and then take the tutorial. What's stopping these people from beating the tutorial in one shot and getting a title? Now, granted, if the title is given out to every player that does that, that changes things. But then why the fuck do the titles give you such exorbitant stat bonuses? And why aren't people like posting these guides up more? Also, I find it really bizarre that apparently, like, um, assuming VR games have been around for a long time, and obviously in his youth he was scouted for being a pro gamer, so gaming has been around for a long time. I find it really strange that apparently this world does not have streamers. That like
Uh,
apparently no big content creators have jumped on this game. It's really, really weird.
they said it's hard because of the 1 to 5 time difference,
But
which is kind of weird. But yeah.
but it doesn't seem to affect the main character. It
Well,
doesn't
he
seem to
doesn't stream,
affect.
he has to. He makes
Well,
YouTube
he just
videos.
records. Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess same difference. Why aren't there big YouTubers who like showcase stuff? I I don't know. The way street the like company guy, the like childhood friend was bullied before, but now like is president of a company, was saying it. It sounded like people don't like make money off of streaming or like videos
Yeah.
often. I'm not actually
They
sure
don't
the
make
scale
money
of
off.
things.
They don't make money off of streaming at all. Apparently, they can't because of the time difference.
I, eh, listen, people, and this is like years in the past. If this is in the future, obviously with the VR shit, right? People, example like Ludwig or any other stream subathon people, even VTubers have been doing it really, where they literally just put on the stream 24 hours. When they go to sleep, they sleep on the stream. The viewership goes up when people go to sleep on the stream. I'm pretty sure Ludwig's like viewership went up when he went to sleep and then went back down when he woke up. I feel like I recall that happening. Or if it wasn't him, it was like someone else. I could have sworn like a lot of people have, even like a lot of smaller streamers, like whenever the streamer leaves the screen and like it's just their like chair and the webcam, viewership goes up. And then when the streamer comes back, the viewership drops again. It spawned these memes around like certain streaming communities where it's like We want the chair back. Please let us see the chair again. And they'll like give the chair a name and like worship the chair. Chair becomes an emote. It's all this shit. I refuse to believe that there's no people playing this. I. You could stream yourself watching the game for fuck's sake and probably be entertaining. It could be a React channel. Okay, enough about that. Rating. Characters. Go ahead, Chris. Tell me how good the characters are.
I wish I liked any of the characters, even a little bit. I hate the main character. I hate all the side characters. They're all so. I hate all of their dialogue with each other. And honestly, actually no. So I kind of like the Guildmaster. She's like kind of sensible. I don't know. She gets it a 2 out of 10.
I the guildmaster's sensible, maybe, but like it doesn't make sense why they selected this point for the king's tournament to reveal their presence or whatever. It doesn't make sense that no one's revealed that before. They're treating it as if like this game and the guilds within it, no one shares this information outside. There's no gaming forums that spread this shit. There's no like rats in every guild. No, there's definitely rats in every guild. And even the like one guildmaster of like some other alliance was like, yeah, the people I placed in her guild got funneled to like this section, which means they're definitely like supporting the heroes guild. But why hasn't anyone talked about that? Why is it such a secret still? I I don't know. I feel where's the YouTube drama channels that are like, this major guild is actually comprised of these people? Who are these top brass? You know, that's clickbait for years, dude. These people are like really shit at making content. Anyway, yeah, I don't like the main character. I didn't really like anyone from the Heroes Guild. They're all sort of generic looking. The sister, I mean, I guess she can walk now. Not that the main character likes it. Um, who does he meet? The one girl with the scythe. I guess she's
Oh,
cool, but
she
she's also like just convenient plot character.
she
Um,
randomly likes the main character and hates him. Yeah,
there's like the members of the Thatnos Church.
yeah. Oh, they're kind of funny
They're
actually.
pretty
Just one of
funny.
them.
I like the guy who likes like beating himself up on a wall or the ground. It's
Yeah,
sort of funny.
it's like the only comedy in the entire show.
Yeah, let's give it a 2. All right, what is
Uh,
this? A 2, a 1.5, and a 7. How much is that? 7 plus 2 plus 1.5. Screw doing math the normal way. We've got calculators on Google. A 3.5, I think.
Deserved.
Oh, I don't know if we've dipped this low in a bit. 3.5 here. 3.5, pretty deserved. TLDR for this one, if you're looking for some trash to read, and you're sifting through the trash heap real fast, and you're like, oh, a new one, I haven't read this one yet. Well, maybe the reason why you didn't read it in the first place is the reason why you should continue not reading it. Because it's been here for a while. I've just, every time I see it, I'm like, oh, that fucker. That piece of shit again. And now that I see it, I'll probably just read it for a while, just because I caught up. But I will probably drop it sooner than later. Like, you know, have you still caught up to like Super Evolution after we
No,
rated it? Yeah,
nope.
exactly. Have you? Why have you dropped it, Chris? Please explain. Tell me.
It was crap. Garbage.
But we caught up.
Bad.
Don't you like feel an obligation to read the shit that you caught up to?
No,
Okay,
especially if it's bad.
valid viewpoint. Well, that wraps up our review. We end with a 3.5 and a please don't read this unless you're desperate. Um, Chris, you are now picking the next one. What will
All right.
we read today? Or, well, next week.
Hmm. Let's read. Oh, this is so long. Oh wait, actually. All right. Would you rather read "I obtained a mythic item" or "Return of the Unrivaled Spear Knight"?
Oh, God. I recognize both of those titles. Oh, they're both sort of long. Well, I might take a mythic item is shorter. I
Yeah,
know that
mine.
Return of the Spear Knight is like worse.
Chapters.
So no, it's just arguably worse in my opinion. Um, so would you prefer to read I obtain a mythic item, which is pretty decent in my opinion, or would you prefer to read Spear Knight, which is just sort of worse?
I cannot read anything as bad as what we just read.
I, oh,
Um,
please, we,
that killed me for a solid minute.
we're gonna just have a trash divot where we just really explore the trash. I mean, I don't know
No.
if Spear Knight's trash. I just know that I didn't keep reading it. I read like probably 30 chapters when it first released, and I was like, this is pretty meh. It's one of those like I became the best knight in the empire, and then my best friend, the king, he fucking killed me and betrayed me. And just as I was sitting on the doorsteps, or like lying on the doorsteps of my home, trying to get to like help, I died. And then, you
Oh.
know, right before death, mere moments before my soul left my body, I thought to myself, well, what if I could have had a chance to make everything right? Please, gods, or whatever the fuck you're out there. Like, I just want to come back. And then he wakes up. It's like, what the fuck? I'm 10 years old again? Oh my god. It's one of
Oh,
those. So you want to read
oh
that, or do you want to read
no.
Mythic Item, which is also called, oh my god, I got to the end, I discovered the truth, but then I got killed and... Wait, I'm young again?
Oh no, they're the same story.
It's the same story. One of them is just set in like a fantasy world, and the other one's set in a world where it's also fantasy, but they like have more game like powers and skill windows. Oh yeah, we didn't talk about skill windows this time. Should we briefly touch on that? Did this one have
Uh,
skill window? It did.
kind of, yeah. Not the type that I
It
hate
was not
though. They
terribly
are
intrusive,
actually,
yeah.
yeah.
It's just a game one. It wasn't horrible. No
I
one
don't
really
hate the
abused
skill
anything
windows
before it's
because
the
actually
besides the
good.
DP shop.
Yeah, the TV shop was kind of BS.
Yeah. So yeah, it's not that bad. Yeah, what would you pick? I go with whichever one you want.
Sure, I obtained a mythic item.
Oh well, you picked the lesser of two evils. I appreciate you for that. It's fine. We'll eventually run out of things to read. I think. Maybe. And
Hmm.
eventually that'll mean we will loop back to the Spear Knight. Don't worry, we're not safe from the Spear Knight. He'll come back. He always does.
Oh, we might have to dip into the manhwas with like hundreds of chapters, and I'm dreading that day.
I I don't know if there's that many of them. Well, we're gonna have to dip into some that I really don't want to read again. Did you ever read one called "I'll Be Taking a Break for Personal Reasons"?
Oh no, I haven't. It's kind of funny
Oh,
though.
yeah, don't read it. And it's like if you're reading from the perspective of the person who's controlling people in a and then I forgot the name of the other one. Uh, Pick Me Up Infinite Gacha. Like you're just reading
Oh,
from the perspective of the guy who's playing the video game and not actually caring about the people inside. In other words, the guy just plays a gacha game. But you know, that's it for us here, unless you got anything else to point out. We'll
none.
come back next week with I obtained a mythic item. Uh yeah. As always, beat the shit out of the like button. or the subscribe button, or both. Or, I don't know, don't do either. It doesn't matter who even watches till the end of these. If you did watch until the end, thank you. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time.